I'm ready.
Here we go. Let's get it in.
Okay, so this next one's something dear to my heart. You know,
We have been going back and forth on this. You have to
for a
understand.
long time.
Since 10 years.
Yeah, it's been a minute since
We've
we were
been
doing
at least 10 years on this, and he doesn't seem to understand my point of view on this.
No.
I'm never going to see his side. Here it is
I'm
right
never
now.
going to see his side.
What's better, vampires or werewolves? Let's go. I say vampires.
Werewolves.
He
10
says
times
werewolves.
better.
I don't know why.
10 times.
Fine. State your case.
Okay, so for popular, so there's a theory that werewolves could only change on the full moon, and that's completely a lie. So that was actually put into motion from the movie that came out in 1940, The Wolfman. Put that in stone that a werewolf could only change in a full moon, and the only way to become a werewolf was be bitten or born. That is completely false. That is not true. The real way, their way to become a werewolf was to be cursed, drink a water from a werewolf footprint, ate meat that was killed by a werewolf, wore a belt. Like if you killed a werewolf, if you turn their skin, you could turn their skin into a belt, and you could then transform into a werewolf, or magic, meaning like potions or, boom, right? It's a lie, right? They could change whenever they wanted, and they could stay. Some cultures have it where like the way they change is when they take off their clothes, they have to put back on their clothes to become human. Other forms, or just like them taking 2 days to change, their bones breaking, and some cultures didn't have werewolves to what they are now. That was actually a Hollywood thing that CGI got better, so they were like, let's transform them into like being more like beastly. Before, like the lore pictured werewolf as like a wolf head, and like it was more humanized. It was more like a wolf. It was a wolf in man body. It was a wolf with a man body type thing. Wolf hands, wolf paws, wolf legs, but like it was mainly like still man, wolf head, right? That was kind of the depiction. And there's a few tales. So like Greek mythology has their first werewolves. You got Norse mythology, they have their own. The Indians and Native Americans, they had their Blackfoot werewolf legend. I could go on. Cajun lore, so like the Louisiana, they have their own lore of a werewolf. And there's a lot of lores. You could pick and choose which one you want, which one sounds better, whatever. But I'm gonna just list off the wolf abilities, right? Right. Super healing factor. So most people think like, oh, you could just shoot. Okay, so let's get this out of the werewolves can die like any human being, right? So that means the only thing that could kill them is like being like what a human can kill, not like disease, but like injuries. They can kill it, but the problem is the way you have to do the injury is so severe that they can't heal from it like that. So you would have to, like, some examples, you would probably have to like chop off their head, burn them alive. But the problem with that, they have immortality, night vision, superhuman ability, endurance, senses, speed, strength. And the problem with the folklore is it wasn't about like killing them. It was you trying to kill them before they killed you because they were so fast. They weren't just like how in the movie they're just slow, brute strength. No, they were fast, quick. You wouldn't know what hit you until you're dead. Well, but you're dead, so booyah, right? And do you want me to get into some of the Okay. So
stage case, man.
Okay, so Greek mythology. I'm gonna start off with Greek because this is probably my favorite one, right? Greek mythology. So according to according to legend, There was I'm gonna say I don't really know who he was, but his name was Lycan, and he angered Zeus because he fed Zeus one of his kids who he sacrificed. And Lycan had
Sound like the Greeks.
right. So Lycan had a lot of kids. So what Zeus ended up doing is turning him, because he tried to feed him basically his dead son. Zeus ended up turning him and all his kin to ever be cursed to be wolves. So basically, they could turn into wolf, but it was mainly like an actual wolf. It wasn't like a
werewolf.
It was kind of just a wolf.
Okay.
So that was kind of that's their depiction of a werewolf. Norse. This is also pretty fucking dope to me. Norse mythology, right?
That's my people.
So Norse, the saga of, I can't say this, Valsung, tells a story of a father and son who discovered a wolf pelt that had the power for them to turn into like legit werewolves, where how you kind of depict it now in today's movies, kind of that really giant, 7 foot tall, just big beast, right? And the father and son duo, during that pelt for 10 days, they they destroyed villages, killed thousands of people. And what ended up happening is the son in wolf form felt like they were kind of doing a little too much, so the father killed them.
You think?
So the father killed them, and how he became like got brought back to life. One of the gods of like the Norse used a crow, sacrificed a crow to bring him back to life.
Odin?
But they didn't say which one.
Well, Odin is of the crows. I just assumed it'd be him.
Most likely it was him. Okay. They just said one of the gods.
Oh, okay.
So one of the gods sacrificed a crow to bring him back to life, but that turned him back into human. Basically, took the pelts off. So what the son and father did, so no one else could ever get the power to turn into a werewolf. They burnt the pelts, right? And that's kind of just the story, right? Another story of, let's say, Bigfoot. It's a Blackfoot werewolf legend. So basically what ended up happening is this guy who was a hunter for one of the villages back in like when Indians or, a big thing. No, that's probably disrespectful. I didn't mean that. But like, right, what ended up happening, he had 2 wives and he felt like they were having too much of a social life, right? So what he ended up doing, which, I mean, think about it. Back then, wives, they were always supposed to take care of the house, take care of the kids, make sure the man comes back to a meal after hunting all day. So that was kind of their role, but he felt like they were doing more than that.
You telling me this dude getting mad because they hitting the club? Like, what the fuck?
Right. So what
Right.
he does, right? So what he does is move them far away from the village to their own like area. So they're away from the village.
He isolated
Yeah.
them.
So he isolated them, and
fucked up.
in this situation, the wives grew envy because they didn't live that lifestyle anymore.
Yep.
So what
Couldn't
they
hit the club, they got mad about it. They ain't twerking right.
Right. So what they end up doing, they plotted to kill him. So what they end up doing every night after he came back from hunting, he sat up on top like this cliff and looked over the land and stuff.
This dude's weird.
So
Blackfoot's weird. He does weird shit.
So what they did is they burrowed a hole into the cave and like put sharp sticks in the bottom of it and like put leaves and put a buffalo head right where he would normally sit to be like, oh, there's something over
they
here.
baited him over.
Right.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening, he fell down there and had crazy injuries. Like he was really fucked up, like on the cusp of dying. So they go back to the village and they're like, where's my husband? Yada, yada, yada. He went hunting 3 days ago and didn't come back. Oh my God, where's my husband? And right. So what ended up happening is a pack of wolves who were kind of like mystical beings, kind of. They found him, and instead of eating him and like killing him, they were like, okay, let's do this. Let's bring him back to the village. So they fed him a liver to get him So he basically ate a raw liver. Dope. But still, so like they fed
like the Liver King.
They fed him a liver. He was able to walk. They brought him back to their elder wolf who had mystical powers, and she basically blessed him with abilities to turn into a wolf. And this type of wolf was like how I was saying, it was mainly wolf head, wolf claws, and kind of like the man body, wolf legs, stuff like that.
Did he still have fur?
I'm pretty sure he had. I'm not sure. I couldn't find pictures on this. This was kind of it. So what he ended up doing, he went back to the village. The villagers were like going crazy because they never seen a wolf had man beast. He ended up ripping the throats of his wives and pillaging the village. Basically, like robbing them of the food, of everything. And
so I have a question: when a werewolf transforms into a werewolf, right? So he's no longer a man; he's a werewolf. Does he have a dog dick, or does he still have his regular human penis?
I don't know. That's weird.
That's a question I need to know.
That's weird.
It's a
I don't
question
know.
I need an answer.
But I don't know. I guess so. But yeah. But there's
Is it like that little red part come out?
I don't fucking know. But I'll say this. I'll say this, right?
It's just a question. I need an answer.
A lot of people think that werewolves only come out at night or not, like full moon. That's a movie thing that's pushed into our brains. That's not true. They could change whenever they want to. And while they were in human form, they still had all their ability, like super hearing, strength, speed, all that. So they were not only dope as a transformation, they were still pretty fucking dope as human form. So like, yeah. And they were immortal. So people like, they got old and died. That's a movie thing. Nope. They were the only way they died is you had to kill them. But the problem is you wouldn't know. You wouldn't chop off their head because they're faster. You would be dead before you even got the chance to. The only people that could kill them is other mystical beings. But humans, no. Yes, the silver bullet, like I said, bullets, swords, knives, all that. Anything a human could take damage from, they could die from. But the problem is, doing that before they healed and doing that before they killed you was really unlikely. Really unlikely.
You done?
I'm gonna take a breather and let you go.
So while you worried about being pillaged and raped by dog dicks, let me tell you something. Vampires are some of the baddest motherfuckers in lore. Period. So I did a lot of research, and I mean a lot. Like a lot of research. Because I knew how long this was gonna go. Do they shapeshift? Yes, they can. See, here's something that you need to know before we even get into it. So the whole story of the sunlight thing, damaging them or killing vampires, that didn't even come around till the 19th century. That was not even a thing. That's movie shit. Before movies, there were books. That's book shit. It's not real. It's not really where their origin comes from. Vampires walked in the day like normal people. You never knew they were a vampire until they did vampire shit. You know what I mean? They shapeshift, so they can shapeshift into bats, wolves, mist, rats, humans, like other humans, like to look like somebody else, and even shadows, to where you would never even know they're there. They're like mysteries. It's so crazy when I got to look up the story of like and learn a lot about vampires. I did a lot of research. I did a lot of YouTube, but it was more biased, so I try to stay away from the biased stuff because I like werewolves too. I'm not unbiased. But, I'm not biased when it comes to this, but on this note, I do think that vampires are better. And the reason is because you have to understand what a vampire is. It's an immortal human. What are humans? We're smart. We know how to use tools. We have those things with us. That means that they can even control animals, which is one thing that was noted in a book that they found in the 18th century. They have powers. So you have super strength. You have undead speed, which is basically like they're so stupid fast. It's not even it's hard to comprehend. There's even been movies about how they utilize their speed where everybody is standing still. And there's this one vampire that literally ran around and killed everybody. And nobody even knew it happened until it was already done. They're that quick. They have like the Flash. Like that's how fast these people are. It's crazy. It's so
that's kind of how werewolves are
beyond understanding, right? So they have immortality, telepathy, ESP, so they can talk to you. They can read your thoughts. They're intelligent. That's the main thing. They're climbing, right? So they can climb like really fast. They use weapons, swords, guns, name it. Like, it just depends on the time. You have to understand what immortal means. It means they don't die. It means they if they started in like the 15 AD, that's when they got their vampires. And then here in 2022, they're the same fucking person.
That's how
just with a
werewolves
lot
are,
more
though.
knowledge.
That's how the werewolves are, though.
I'm not saying they're not,
But
I'm just saying I'm stating my case.
That's okay. Yeah, you're right.
I'm stating my case, right? So not only that, do they use weapons, they have heightened senses. So that means that they can hear things that we don't. Their touch, their smell, their sight, their taste, everything is heightened, like a heightened sense of awareness. They're basically the coolest fucking things in the world, bro. Like, how do you not?
But the problem
this
is
so cool.
a
Shit.
lot of-
I let you speak, sir. I let you speak. It's my turn. Okay. Night vision. They got it. They can see in the night. No problem. They got claws and fangs. That's like their last backup. That showed up in the 1800s. So this is like, you have to understand how old the lore is. I'm going to get into the history of where vampires came from, but just hear me out, right? They can erase memories. That was one of the things that blew my fucking mind. I was like, hold the fuck up. So you're telling me that you can encounter a vampire, they would erase it from your memory. You never even know. You would never know. You would never fucking know that you actually ran across a vampire at one point. Oh, and they could fly. And the Lost Boys. That was the one thing I was like, nah. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there with that one.
Lore. I'm talking about.
I'm going by lore too. That's why I said I'm not gonna go there. But I just wanted to throw that out there. So the one thing that I love about vampires more so than dog penises, I think that vampires are like the creature of taboo. Like they're sexy. It's all blood and violence, and it's gothy, and it's like fucking dark and dangerous. It's like, it's creepy. But it's awesome. To me, it's just like, it's one of those things where it's like, you can't get away from a good vampire story. Now, I'm going to get to the origins. So vampires didn't start out as vampires, like the blood-sucking Dracula you hear about. What they started out as undead. And a lot of the lore from England, because that's where the vampire came from, but there's also North lore, Greek lore, same thing he was talking about. All those different lores, they all started around the same time. The vampires were known as undead. They were like the ones you can't kill. Kind of like skinwalkers are now on YouTube. Like, you go look up skinwalker things, and they're always talking about how this, all this crazy. It started like that. That's basically where the vampire came from. It evolved into the vampire we know now, and then for some reason Twilight was a thing. But that neither here nor there.
I'm going by lore. So, yeah.
When you're going by lore, you have to understand what a vampire does. The exact same thing that you're talking about, only better. It's literally that. It's literally that. If there was ever a fight between a vampire and a werewolf, it would end so fast between whoever wins, doesn't matter, but it would end so quick because of how, like how fast and how, we would never see it.
Yeah, but
we would never see it. But the thing
thing,
is the thing about vampires is they have communities. They have literal communities.
We got
Communities of like different, like I'm talking like cliques that all band together. And like Dracula's like the king of them. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, same thing with werewolves. They had packs and alpha.
I'm not saying you didn't have, but
yeah.
I'm saying that like you have to understand like what that means. That means they got money, influence. They have all of that because we're human. They're just undead human. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it goes back to the human versus the beast. Who's gonna win?
But the problem
humans always want to be the alpha of everything. But you have to understand what a vampire could do. They could shapeshift. You never even know they're there. You're just walking through the mist, and all of a sudden you're dead, and you would never know it, like ninjas.
But the problem, like this, I'm gonna say this one thing, right? Same thing with werewolves. Yeah, they changed, but in human form, they still had all their abilities. So just like that, I could legit, you could be having a conversation, me, and I could just be like, rip your throat out and
not
walk
to mention,
away.
There's a lot of stuff that they stopped vampires from doing, from being able to take over the world. Because if you think about it this way, how does a vampire transform into another vampire? Like, how do you have to get bitten. They take half the blood out. They transfer half their blood in. Boom, you're a vampire. You're chosen. It's not like they do it to everybody. You have to be chosen, right?
We could.
And the whole myth of asking, having to be an ask to come in, that draws so many red lines. It doesn't even make sense, and it's all propaganda. It's just movie shit. It's not a real thing.
Hollywood did.
Yeah. Now, granted, to be fair, vampires aren't real either, and neither are werewolves.
Yeah, true.
But when you're looking at the lore in general, hands down, I think vampires are better.
I still
Specifically
think
because not only are they humans, but they're intelligent. They can shapeshift. They have so many different things in their arsenal to take on a werewolf in general. I mean, there's nothing that a werewolf could do that a vampire can't do, and more.
So I'm saying, like, all right, so where the theory of werewolves are dumb, brute, just war and violence, that came from Norse mythology. The other ones, they're still
That's because that's what Vikings were.
So, like, that's kind of what Norse mythology brought that into, and that's what kind of Hollywood took that. Was like, hey, you know, it's going to make them. Yeah, they're not the smartest, but
kind of like based off of Berserker. Yeah, that's what they thought Berserkers were, but these big, giant, dumb people that just went and just swung axes. Yeah.
Werewolves are smart too. It's based on the human. So if the human's smart, the werewolf's going to be smart. If the human's dumb, well, you're going to have a dumb werewolf. So it's like, it's kind of just based on the person.
It works the same with vampires. I think it's the same thing. They're pretty evenly matched. I'm not saying that one's better than the other. I think that what I'm saying about vampires is I like vampires more than I like werewolves.
Understand? No, I feel the same way. I have no problem with vampires. I like
werewolves. I do.
The
but
Underworld
we've been doing this for 10 years.
The Underworld series for me was fire. Both sides. I love the whole community aspect of like the crazy technology the vampires had. I fucks with that.
I didn't use Underworld specifically because of how one-sided that movie really was. It was based on vampires taking on werewolves. So I didn't use it. And I could have easily won the argument, but I didn't.
They had the Underworld, the Lycan one. Was the Lycans.
They had the Lycans.
Had their whole like castle and shit like that. That one was pretty decent as well. It wasn't great, but like I don't know. From the lore, I really like it. Now I'm glad we did this because I didn't know a lot of stuff I know now with werewolves, kind of like pushing me deeper.
Well, to be fair, I didn't know a lot of that either, but I had to go and look up the facts, right? And it was hard to decipher facts from Hollywood. You have to kind of the same thing with the Ninja Samurai thing. You had to get away from the Hollywood shit, and then get into the history behind it. So the more I did that with vampires, the more I fell in love with them. I was just like, dude, these guys are fucking awesome. Like, it doesn't get better than this. But let me know. I want to know what you guys think.
What do you guys think?
What's better?
Werewolves or vampires? Man?
Werewolves or vampires? Let me know.
I fuck with werewolves. It's like, if I think about it, if I was a werewolf, right? Same thing, right? You wouldn't be able to tell I was a werewolf, but I could still climb shit. Super speed, my hearings, eyesight, all my senses are heightened, like super. Literally, it's that superhuman senses. So like, it doesn't really say like a limit, but you know what I'm saying.
Also, one thing I forgot to mention. So the garlic lore thing, like where you like garlic, you use sage and all that stuff to keep them out. That's a pagan construct from cleansing a house. It was never really meant to be a thing for vampires. So no. That doesn't work. Also, the way you kill a vampire is the stake through the heart thing, but that only works if it's a certain kind of wood. So you can't just pick up wood, stab somebody with. I think it had to be oak, if I'm not mistaken. It had to be like a certain specific kind of wood. Yeah, I remember. I should have wrote that down, but I do remember that. And the thing is you have to understand how fast they heal. They heal so quick that even if you shot one with a oak bullet, by the time it pierced, it's already healed. Like, they heal so fast, and they're so quick that even if you did shoot them, they could probably outrun the bullet anyway.
Yeah,
so the thing about this,
I think that's what the lore was trying to say.
Yeah, I think that's what they were trying to say about the silver bullet thing. I'm not sure where the silver bullet thing came from.
That's a Hollywood thing. That it
had to be a Hollywood thing because
thing.
Before that, because you have to think about before bullets. How did you kill them?
Yeah, no, So it was like. That was all that stuff was concreted in that movie.
And the crazy part about it is there was a thing in Van Helsing where they were talking about how you in Van Helsing, the book, not the movie, where they were talking about you had to how you pin down vampires by using like arrows. You have to pin them to a tree, and that's how you stop them. Yeah, if a vampire can just disappear in the mist, you're not going to stop them at all. It's literally they could take over the world. If vampires were real, they could take over the world. They would put their blood inside, the water supply, and it's over with. Everybody's a vampire.
True, but at the same time,
it's so much to this is crazy.
I don't know. I still fucking love it. Like I said, like he said, looking into the lore about where werewolves came, the story of the lore, like it just deepened my love for werewolves. Because like I didn't know. Like for me, I only thought werewolves were only like during they change. They're gonna change on full moon. Nah, bro, they can change whatever daylight, like whenever. And then like,
could you imagine if your coworker's having a bad day and all of a sudden you just hear roar in the back and then like this guy comes out and he's got a fucking dog penis in your face?
I don't know.
Terrified.
I don't know about the dog penis, but yeah.
Now the building has fleas.
I'm telling you, bro. Werewolves are fucking amazing, bro.
I want to know what you guys think. Vampires and werewolves. Which one
let
you
us
got?
know.
'Cause
So
let me know. Am I wrong? Am I right? Did I get some things wrong? If I did, leave it in the comments. I need to know.
And you know, also with the other things we went at, because we're gonna try to keep this series of verses up. Probably not every week, but like we'll try to do this again.
Yeah,
for sure.
I definitely do this again because me and Fred do this all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. This is an ongoing forever thing until one of us die.
Yep.
All right, I think that's it for this one. You got anything else? You good?
No. Oh, well, make sure you guys let us know breakfast versus dinner.
Yeah.
Samurai versus ninja and vampire versus werewolves.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Yeah. Make sure you're eating dinner with your ninja and hanging out with your vampires. I'm out of here.
Peace.
Hey, you made it to the end of the video. I appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down on the bottom below. Also, if you're new, make sure you hit the notification bell so you're notified anytime new videos upload.
And also, don't forget to hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. And for exclusive content, we also have a website, which will be in the description below.
Yep.
All right.
All right, we're out of here.
Peace.